this is my serger. If you watch my other videos, sometimes you'll see I dropped this on the floor, so if it's a little dirty now, it's to be expected. So I have the front and I have the back of the shirt. And so what I'm going to do, see if I can show you. This is the front side. This is the armpit right there. This is the shoulder. I'm going to attach the front and the back shoulders together on both sides. So you can do this with a regular sewing machine, but I'm going to do this with a serger because I have one. Sergers are fun unless you have to rethread them, and then they are evil. So I've lined these two up. You can pin it if you want. You can use a regular sewing machine if you want. Again, I'm cheating. I'm making this fast. So feel free to use whatever method works for you. But I'm going to stitch the shoulders together. And we're going to snip, snip, and do other shoulder. I am going to be using a sewing machine here in a minute for the ruffles and for the sleeves, but right now, for this little bit, oh, that's fine, I'm confusing myself. There we go. So I got the two. I did that right on the other side. Yeah, okay. Doing the shoulders. So you do the shoulders first. Boop-a-da-boo. And voila. Now we have something that vaguely resembles a tunic. I don't know if you can see that, but so the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the ruffles. So I'm going to flip this inside out, and I'm going to attach the ruffles on the outside, and I'm going to use the sewing machine. So I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I've got my ruffles off screen. I serged the outside of them just for my own sanity. You can do a rolled hem if you want, you know, where you hem it like that, but I just serged it. So again, because I'm cheating. And on the bottom here, if you notice, it's already got it's already been hemmed because this was the top of the blanket where the elastic ran. So haha. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on the bottom. And I'm just going to pleat the heck out of this thing. Here's my little tomato. If somebody knows why these are tomatoes, I'd be seriously interested in knowing that, because I honestly don't know. I've always wondered. So I'm going to pleat. So what you do is you pin it at the top, and then you take part of, I wish this wasn't black on black, but you take part of the fabric you want to pleat, and you put your finger between it, and you just fold it up. So essentially you're making a whole bunch of little folds. I have a pleating tool for my sewing machine, which I adore, and if you can get one, it will save you a ton of time. But again, this is steampunk on a budget, so you don't necessarily need a little pleater. I might show you what that looks like here in a minute, though, just so you know. But for speed, that's a good idea. But for today, because we're going back to our roots, we're going to just pleat. Pleat it, pleat it, fold your fabric up and pleat it. Y'all should see me at parties. This is, in my opinion, one of the more fun, but also boring and monotonous parts. So we're going to do this to both sides. And bum-ba-da-bum. But it's going to look cool, trust me. Get a sacrifice for your art, right? Right. Okay, and you're looking at me and you're saying, Ashley, you pinned it to the outside, because I'm going to stitch and then I'm going to fold it in and stitch again. That's my evil plan. Or I might not. I might just serge it, make it look nice. But yeah, so it's going to look like that. See how we've got this nice like pleat thing going on? So I'm going to do the other side, and then I'm going to stitch and I'll decide if I want to fold it and stitch it or if I want to serge it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after you stitch it. So you've got these two ruffly bits here. I stitched it along the pleat, and then I also went across it with the serger just to make that seam, that edge look real nice. You could, in theory, flip it over and then do a stay stitch, you know, kind of like a mini hem like that, or you could stitch it on the inside and flip it out and do the same thing. There's no wrong answer here, as far as I'm concerned, so you can do whatever you want. It's going to have this like little bit that comes down that's like a to a point, which is, I could stitch them together maybe. I might do that later on, but I'm not going to right now. I'm just going to leave it like that. My next thing that I need to do is deal with the collar area. Now, if we had a collar that we were going to put on, like an actual collar, this would be the time to do it. I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch it, and then I'm going to flip it over and stitch it, just so it creates a little bit of a hem, you know, right there. That way it gives it a nice look around the neckline. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll come back and show you what that looks like. Alright, so what I did, and I don't know if you can tell, so I did this part, see where it's serged and stitched, and then I did the same at the top where I serged it, and then I stitched it under just to make it look nice. There's threads coming off all over the place. My sewing machine is a little broken at the moment, and so I'm having a hard time with extra threads coming off of everything, but there we go. So it'll look like this a little bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is these sleeves. So the rule of thumb, I know it's not a good thing to say anymore, but so the rule of expectation is any sort of accessory things is to do them first. So I want to use some of our elastic from earlier, and I want to make a cinch in my sleeve. So I'm going to do that first before I sew the sleeve on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the circumference of my arm. I'm going to cut that out using the elastic. I could probably just do that like that. Let's see. We're learning together. I've never done this before, so we're going to give this a shot. So, should I be buff? Like that? Yeah. Okay. So, cut this like that. See, we're using that elastic. And then we're going to come down through here, and I'm going to do a zigzag stitch where every couple of inches I'll just show you. Okay, so as you can see, I'm very spoiled, and I have this very nice sewing machine that I spent not that much money on. Shauna, you know who you are, and no, you can't have it back. I love her. Her name is Shannon. We have a loving connection now. But you can do this on any sewing machine that does a zigzag, which is most. Even like old Victorian sewing machines often will do zigzags. Not my treadle though. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm going to take one of my bits of elastic, and I'm going to start at the edge. Put my thing down. There. Now there are some really fancy feet that you can buy that you can feed elastic into. I don't have any of those. So I'm going to select a zigzag, and I'm going to select that it's going to automatically do a knot at the beginning. Now, if you have a sewing machine with a zigzag, if you go forward and backwards, it would have the same effect. I just want to make sure that the elastic is secure. So I'm going to do a little bit like this, just to get it started. I'm going to increase the length because I just don't need it that tight. It's a little floobly, nobody cares. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull on this. So see how I'm pulling? So I'm pull, stabilize it, and then I'm going to stitch. And then I'm going to pull, stabilize, stitch. Now if I was being real fancy, I would have marked out the distance, but I'm kind of just watching to see how far from the edge of the sewing machine the bottom of the sleeve is. And if I'm being honest, I don't really make this style of sleeve, so this is all new, but I wanted to give it a shot, so we're exploring together. I'm gonna have to really cinch this up in here. That lovely flopping noise you just heard is my dog. Who's very old and is going to come in here to investigate any second now. Hi, Zelda. Whoops. Alright. So the zigzag is important because zigzags help with elasticity. And we're done. So let's see what it looks like on the other side. You shouldn't hardly be able to see it at all. There, looks just like that. Oh, that's gonna look nice. I don't know if you can see that. All right, now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do this same thing to the other side, and then we're gonna go and do the puff at the top of the sleeve. Okay, so this is gonna be hard. But now we have our shoulder seam that's stitched together with our ruffles here and our neck seam that's been stitched around. And again, you can change this up however you want. Experiment, explore. It's the whole goal of this. And the nice thing is cheap fabric, so if you mess it up, who cares, right? That's what I'm doing right now. We're experimenting. Never made a shirt exactly like this before, so we're giving it a shot. So you've got your sleeve here as well. So see, this is how my elastic turned out. You could do, I've seen where you can, like, anyway, I'm not gonna go into it. It's not a big deal. So there are other ways you could do this that are more effective, but I'm not doing it. But anyway, so we got our elastic here. So I did go through and I hemmed the bottom with the serger. I mean, hem's not the right word. I serged the bottom of the sleeves. You could do a roll hem or a regular hem. So this is the top. And what we need to do now is we need to pleat it on the shirt, so that way we've got little pleats up here, so that way it completes the puff effect. So what I'm going to do, and we're actually almost done with all of this nonsense, so, which is good because my phone's battery is dying. So you're going to take the tip of your sleeve, so you've got the beginning of your arch here, so this is the very tip, and this is the tip of your armpit right here. So you're going to pin here. We'll see if I have enough pins for all this. I might have to go get my other tomato. And if the fabric will cooperate with you. That's always a question. This particular bed sheet is very slippery. It's almost like a sateen, which I hate working with. That is evil fabric. Evil fabric. Anyway, so I'm going to go through. I've got my other tomato. Second tomato to the rescue. All right. Again, still don't know why they're tomatoes. I think I'm going to look that up later. So we're going to go like this. And so we've got almost up to the peak here, the pinnacle. It looks like my seam came out a little bit right there. So we're going to do the other side. So we're going to go tip of the arc to the tip of the armpit. We're going to pin. And our goal with this is to meet in the middle, and hopefully we have a ton of fabric up there that we can pleat with. You don't ever want to pleat in your armpit or pleat anywhere close to your armpit, because you have extra fabric rolls and it would be very uncomfortable and irritating. You have, again, friction in the system right there where the two parts of your body meet. Okay, so here we go. About equal distance. Yeah, and I've got this much fabric left. So just like we did with the ruffle in the front, we're going to pleat it. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it over. And the bigger the pleat, the more fabric it uses. So I'm going to mirror this on each side. So if I do a pleat that way, I'm going to do a pleat that way. And I'm going to make sure that they're facing the same direction. So you see how this fold is pointing up? Well, that fold on that one is also pointing up towards the top of the sleeve, and you want it to be the same. Otherwise, it's not going to have the same effect. It'll look more like a Catholic schoolgirl skirt if you pleat them all going the same direction as opposed to opposite. Pleat here. And you're going to want to remember how many pleats you have on this sleeve, so when you mirror it on the other sleeve, you can make it the same. I've never had anyone notice if pleats are off, but you know, there are people. And that's okay. Those people have a hobby of pointing out pleats. A true friend does not make fun of your pleats. Okay, so the last pleat we're going to do is what's called a box pleat. And so you put your fabric together here, and it's going to make a little point like this. And then we're going to squish that point down like that. So if I'd been more frugal with my other pleats, I'm going to steal some fabric from these ones. There we go, like that. You can make a pretty decent box pleat. There we go. And box pleats are kind of hard to do, but what it's doing is it's making the point go that way and making the point go that way. So it creates a dividing line. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this on the other side, and then I'm going to stitch this, and I probably will serge it too just for my own sanity, but I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. So when it's done, I've only got done one side, but when it's done, it should look a little bit something like this. See how there's pleats? I think my little box pleat got messed up when I stitched it, but that's okay. So it'll be pleats like this. And it doesn't look like much now, but the next step, I need to do the other side, but the next step is you're going to take your armpits, you're going to stick them together like so. Excuse me, and I'm going to sneeze. You take your sleeve and you're going to stitch from the tip of your sleeve to your armpit, making sure that you keep armpits are where everyone seems to get little holes, so if you want to do a double stitch right there just to reinforce it, I always highly recommend it. But you're going to keep going from the tip of the sleeve down through the armpit and then all the way down to the bottom of the shirt. And once you do that, then all you need to do is hem the bottom and you're done. So I'm going to do those things. I might have to come back tomorrow, so I'll see you the next time I'm here, and I'll have it all done, and you'll be able to see how it worked, and it'll look awesome. All right. So this is done, this side. So I stitched from the bottom up through the armpit, like so. And see, I was a little bit off with my, should have measured it, all the way up to the tip here. I wanted to point out something I didn't mention before, but since you do the sleeve right side, so you've got the right side of your fabric, the side that faces out towards the public, and your other sleeve, it's the right side, the side that faces the public goes down over the top of this. So when you do your pleat, it's like that. So you should be looking at the wrong side of your sleeve and the right side of your shirt, if you see shirt on the outside. So, but when you're done with this, and it looks like this, when you do the stitch work from the bottom of your shirt to the tip of your sleeve, that needs to be on the inside. So you need to be seeing the wrong sides of the fabric. Just to clarify. I know for me, sleeves can get confusing, and so all the tips and tricks you can get, always make sure right side is up for your shirt and right side is down for your sleeve when you're pleating. Tip of the day. Okay, so now I really am going to go finish this up, and I'll show a picture of it so you can see it soon. And voila, you have a nice shirt, piratey, accented with a belt or a corset or pirate vest, and it was practically free, or less than $1 with some extra maintenance. So you can't beat that now, can you? So what I'm going to say is I'm going to be doing a lot of these type of videos, hopefully, where I'm showing you how you can make things just like this for $1, $2, less than $10. So that way you can make some awesome stuff at home. And I'd love to see your guys' examples of these, things that you've made out of like a fitted bed sheet or out of a flat sheet or a napkin holder. Who knows? There's so many different options out there. So stay tuned. I hate to do this. Like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, it does kind of help me out because we don't get out very much as far as our videos. So, and I want to be able to share and teach you cool things and show you cool experiments. So stay tuned. There'll be so much more coming. And like I said, can't beat that for $1. Now I might come through here because this one's gonna be mine. I'm gonna keep it. This isn't gonna be anybody else's. Haha, you can't have it. But I might come through and I might put a little bit of elastic here and a button so that way I can close it off like that because I think that would look nice. But yeah, see, I've never made a shirt exactly like this. Oh, I got a little bit of string I need to cut. But just experiment, have fun. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, you didn't spend that much money, right? So who knows? All right, you guys stay tuned. Keep steaming. Have fun and experiment. Who knows? Could be something amazing comes out of it. All right, you guys have fun. Mwah, and I love you all. Bye.